What's good, guys? We're back at it again with another video. I just see from the title today we have a Bronny and Bryce EYBL breakdown from session 1. Bronny, I think I've done 2 to 3 breakdowns before. Bryce, I've only done 1. For both of these players, I think Bronny is supposed to be 6'2", 6'3", or 6'4". I've seen all 3 heights recently. I just saw an article from this past weekend. Somebody saying he's 6'4" now. But also I know that in Bryce's Instagram bio, it says 6'3", but in pictures I've seen Bryce is taller than Bronny. So I don't know, but all I know is they both are at least 6'2". In my head, from what I'm looking at, it looks like Bronny is probably more 6'2". Bryce is more 6'3", 6'4". Bronny's obviously going into his senior year. Bryce is only 14 years old playing 16s. But before we even get into their breakdown, I want to say this little disclaimer. Yes, I do think that their father, LeBron, is the greatest basketball player to touch a court ever, point blank, period. But one thing I hate to see, is people have these expectations on Bronny, Bryce, Zaire, Shareef O'Neal. I don't think people understand you're comparing a teenager to, and Bronny and Bryce's situation, you're comparing a teenager to I'm not going to listen to you if you say he's below top 3, but in anybody's list who actually watches at all, you're comparing a teenager to a top 3 player all time. Zaire, you're comparing a teenager to a all-time shooting guard. You're comparing Shareef O'Neal to one of the most dominant players to ever play the game. I don't think people really understand that. Their parents are one-of-ones. Like, they're not coming again. You're not going to see, like, their parents are one-of-ones. Let the kids have their own journeys and let them go their own way. Like, you're putting all this pressure on the kid. No, they're not going to be LeBron, D-Wade, Shaq. They're going to be themselves. But just like these two, with any other player I have on the channel, I don't care like who your parents are, I like to keep it unbiased. I'm going to tell it how I see it. I'm going to tell it how I saw it, from this session 1 with Bryce and Bronny. I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. Let's get into it. Bronny James is one of the better shooters in the 2023 class. If you give him any type of time or space, he will not hesitate to raise up and knock it down. At 6'3", he has good size, and because of the quickness of his release, he can get a shot off over great closeouts, even with bigger defenders with longer arms. Shooting it off the dribble also isn't a problem for Bronny. He can knock it down from 3 or from mid-range. This is great decision-making here, recognizing the big sagging and getting the shot off before his defender can recover. Even though he prefers the perimeter shot, Bronny has good pace and utilizes his speed and athleticism to get by defenders and finish at the rim. This is a player you have to run off the line, and even if you try, he shows great patience here, still getting it off and knocking it down. Again, if he has a clear look at the rim, no matter where he is going up, knockdown. Bryce James is currently 14, playing 16U, so as you can see, he's still a little raw, trying to figure out how to score against older players. He does show flashes, as you can see here. This is great footwork and a great move by a 14-year-old, just have to finish the play. Bryce can knock down open jumpers and threes when given time and space, and this next possession is a glimpse at what's to come once he puts it all together. So Bryce and Bronny, we'll start with Bronny because I've seen him, a lot more. With Bronny, the narrative has always been, of course, he's the namesake, so he's always going to have that extra pressure, right? And everything that I've seen over the last couple years is, oh yeah, is Bronny, is he the second coming? Is he this, and that? I'll see YouTube videos when he has one bad game about saying how he's overrated and he's trash and all of that. But I just stood the course. I just, stayed the course and just kept watching him consistently. Like, okay, is he getting better at this? Is he getting better at that? I'm not expecting some 5-star elite talent straight out the gate. No. Is he getting better at this? Is he getting better at that? Am I seeing a progression over the years? Yes. Now, at this point in Bronny's game, everyone can see now he isn't going to be that flashy superstar. What Bronny is a solid point guard who gets the job done. A solid guard who gets the job done. He knocks down shots on the perimeter. He is a shooter at this point. I was looking at his stats from the session. I know he's in one of the top percentiles in terms of jump shots per session 1, right? He is a shooter at this point. I showed you guys. He has no problem knocking down deep 3 shots all over the floor. He can shoot pull-ups, mid-range from 3, anywhere. He prefers the perimeter jumper, but he can also drive, right? And another thing I want to say is his team, I think they went 0-3, right, for session 1. His team was completely outmatched. I've said this before. EYBL is the top of the top talent. So if your team, if your EYBL team isn't coming in there with a couple stars on the roster, more times than not, you know what I'm saying, it's going to end in a loss. Even for Bronny, I was watching the games and I'm seeing him getting face guarded. And like his teammates were also like, his teammates are good, but they aren't of course, like I've said before, the 4 stars, the 5 stars, which is why they did lose these games. But for Bronny to still compete and show me like, okay, he's still showing you that he's still progressing. You know what I'm saying? He's still showing you that he has flashes of vision. He can make the right pass. He can make the right read. He doesn't really force. That's one of the things that I like about Bronny is he's not going to force. He's not. He's going to get his offense within the game, within the flow of the system, that whatever they're running. So you saw all of his shots. You're not seeing a lot of, pull up, step back. No, what you're seeing is, okay, we have a set play. I'm going to come off this pin down and sprint out, get a set jumper, knockdown. Okay, I'm running in transition. Let me go find a corner, catch it, knockdown. Okay, the ball gets swung a couple times. Somebody's closing out on me, but they're late. I can get it off because I have a quick release, knockdown. I'm coming off a pick and roll. I showed you guys the big is sagging, and I know that my defender is kind of gonna be a little late. Easy pull up, bucket. It's a simple game. He understands how to play. He's not gonna listen to all the noise and start going out there trying to do 80 different moves. No, he's gonna play his game, and I think that's translatable. Now, I'm not saying he's gonna be some type of NBA All-Star, no, but he's going to be a solid guard for a long time. A long time, Bronny is going to be a solid guard just because he knows how to play the game. He knows his game, and he's not going to get outside of it. Let's get into Bryce. Bryce is a player who, in terms of growth, height, over the last couple years, it's kind of been crazy. Like, he's taller than Bronny now at 14 years old. At 14, he is 6'3", looking kind of 6'4" out there, right? Put it in perspective, I'm 6'8" now, 6'8", 6'9". When I was 14, going into high school, I was 6'2", 6'3". So it's looking like he's on track to becoming like more like Bron's height, 6'8", 6'9", a bigger player. And you see how he moves, how he plays now, how he's still figuring it out. It's looking like it might be a little scary once he gets a little older. Just keep that in mind when we talk about his game. So this is a 14-year-old playing 16U. A 14-year-old playing 16U. So obviously when you have that, you're playing against bigger, stronger, faster, more mature players. They understand the game a little bit more. So for Bryce, it's going to be a little bit of a learning period, and I wanted to show you guys that because there aren't really too many clips right now of him when he played this first session of him like really scoring or doing this, and that. I wanted to show you guys like, no, at this point right now, he's still figuring out like, okay, how can I still play my game? Because he played well. The breakdown I did was when he was playing JV this past season, he was looking good, but now he has to understand and try and figure out, okay, how can I translate my game against bigger, stronger players? You saw that, and kind of the difference between him and Bronny, like I just said, is Bronny's going to play the right way. Bronny's going to get his within the system. You know, he's not going to do too much. Bryce on the other hand, Bryce got some bag. Bryce got some flash. Bryce liked to rock a little bit. I saw it in JV. He got some whatever. Like, he got all that, and he likes the pull-ups, the step backs. He got all the moves. He likes that. You saw that he kind of ISO'd completely and really tried to get into his bag on somebody. It doesn't work now, but at some point it will start to work. And that aggressiveness is always great. Kind of like I just said it with DJ. That aggressiveness, when you have somebody who's coming at you all the time, it's hard to stop. And I can see it already. Bryce has more of that scores mentality. I'm trying to get a bucket. Not only that, I'm trying to rock you first, then get a bucket. But you saw little flashes of it. I just said, like, he tried to ISO that one time, or even on the baseline. That's big time footwork for a 14-year-old. Like, to have a 14-year-old just to teach them how to, spin up and under. He missed it, but at some point he will start to finish that. That's big time footwork. He showed if you give him time and space, he can knock down the three. And that pull-up three with hands there in a little bit of traffic, that's just a glimpse at what's to come once he starts to actually put it all together. Right now, he's still kind of raw. He's trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to score against these guys? How can I compete against these guys? But that's only going to get him better because at this young age, you're playing against 16-year-olds. So guess what? When he is 16, playing against other 16-year-olds, it's going to be light because guess what? I haven't been playing against you. I've been playing against players 2 years older than you that were better than you at that time. So now guess what? I'm going to dominate my age. But all in all, for these two players, for any other players that are, the sons of NBA greats, for any other prep basketball players, let's stop, putting expectations, comparing them to Hall of Famers this early in their career. They're young. They're still trying to figure out if they really even love basketball. And for a lot of players, you can kind of turn them off because you have all these expectations on them. They can't even grow their love of the game because they automatically, when they step on the court, people are expecting a 50-point performance every single time. That's not realistic. Let these players play their game, learn, grow, and let's see where they take it, who they become. So maybe at one point they won't be, okay, this is so-and-so's son. No, that's so-and-so's dad right there. Like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Appreciate you guys watching. Remember, if you want the one-on-one evaluations, subscriber breakdowns, to go on the channel like these, hit the website. I always say, appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time with the next video.